Okay, welcome to the last part of probability. So, of course for AS 啦，就是 the sixth one 的。With conditional probability 其实是整个 我觉得啦，可能这个 probability 里面最乱的一个，因为它的 formula 也不是讲很容易记。Okay, so we have to be really careful about this one. So 什么是 conditional probability? 所以就是我们有一个前提 ，okay, given that the first event has happened, then we have to find the probability of second event probability. Wait a second, isn't that just the first event multiply second event probability? 它这一个情况 it's not really the case 就是它这个 probability 是不像我们讲 event A times event B 这个样子，它是讲 okay we already had happened then it forms out 我们的 probability B has been affected by A OK 它直接是看的是 probability B given that 它这一个情况 happen 了 OK So we are looking only at B, but with a condition. I know this can be confusing, but let's have a look. So what is the probability of selecting E from the word ace? So if that's the case, 我们算出来的就很明显，这里是 A 是3个字嘛，对不对？所以就是1/3. Okay, simple. But what about the conditional probability? What is the probability of selecting E from the word ace given that a vowel is selected? 这个前提是什么 So 这一个前提就是讲着 from this case 我们只是会选 OK 就是讲我们 select 的时候 we have a condition OK 所以 it's not really like event A and event B happening like at the same time Not really always OK the case 他可能讲就是讲我要你选这个 A 的字里面 but you can only select vowel 这样子的想法So that is the condition. So 因为我们知道 vowel 这里只有2个而已嘛 OK 而且我们只是要 select E So if that's the case we are looking at 1/2 In conditional probability we always look at it's given by OK it's given 所以就是讲这 P a probability of A given to B is written as P A 一个 straight line B So 讲呢这个 given 要怎样去用呢 So 这个 given 我们是讲着我们通常就是讲 probability of the event we want and then what is the condition So the condition is actually after So this is the most confusing part Okay 所以when we write conditional probability 我们是 event that we want然后一个 dash 一个 straight line What is the condition So let's have a look A child is selected at a random from a group of 11 boys and 9 girls and one of the girls is called Rose Given that find the probability of selecting Rose given that it's girls being selected 也就是讲着我们的 condition is we are only choosing girls So that means we narrow down into the 9 girls over here So hence there will be probability of rows with girls that is equals to 1/9 Okay let's try again The following table shows the number of students in a class who study biology, who study chemistry. Represent the data using a Venn diagram and find the probability that randomly occurs for each of the students. So let's try and construct 我们的 Venn diagram. So we have biology and chemistry. Out of all, 我们 C 是等于25个 OK 也就是讲是他们的 total number 啦So for biology and 我们的 chemistry 也就是这一个 it's 9 So always tackle from the intersect Then if it's biology and not C not chemistry that will be 7然后 chemistry but not biology that will be 8 and if it's none of them, it will be 1. So, we have finished our Venn diagram. Let's double check. 9 plus 1 plus 8 plus 7, that will be 25. So, find the probability that it studies the chemistry, given that they also study biology. 所以也就讲着我们要找出来 how many students are studying chemistry, given 他也是算出来study biology 的。So we write the condition of C, condition B. But what is the total? 因为它的 condition is the biology, so we only look at the biology part as our total. So that will be 16. So how many of them study chemistry? That will be 9. Okay, let's try again. Find the probability of not studying biology, but at the same time they do not study chemistry. This is a bit confusing, but let's try and write it out. So what we want to find is not studying biology, given that they are also not studying chemistry. 所以我们永远 the hint for doing conditional probability is always calculating what is the total of not studying, or total of the condition. So 我们 total of the condition for not C 就这一边啦。So what is the total? That will be 8. So who is not studying both? There will be only one student, maybe studying physics. Okay, so that's basically the hint. Let's try again. 2 children are selected at random from a group of 5 boys and 7 girls. Find the probability that second child was selected as a boy, given that the first child is a boy. Okay, 这一个就很乱了。Okay, 它不像前面的这样 straightforward. But let's try it. 因为它这里有 first round and second round. So let's try and settle how we can put it. So the first round, 因为我们的 boy and girl 嘛，对不对？ Boy and girl. So if that's the case, 我们就讲的是 5 over 12. 然后这里是 7 over 12. Well, most likely 他们这一个是讲着 not replacing 啦。Okay, 这个是 not replacing the case. 所以就是讲着 4 over 11 for boy. Girl, that would be 7 over 11. So if that's the case, 这里也是 5 over 11 and 6 over 11. So that's our tree diagram. Now, how can I find the probability of selecting the second is a boy and the first one is a boy? 所以就像我们讲的一样，we have to calculate that. I mean, in a way, what we will do is calculate what is the condition total. But 如果是像这种 first round, second round, the tree diagram tells you the answer. Okay, 这一个我们就是要用 tree diagram 来去说出来那个 answer 是什么。So first round is a boy. 所以也就讲这一个咯。And second round is a boy. 那就是这一个。But as I mentioned, we are only looking at the second event. 也就是讲着我们 this would be the answer straight away. Because we are looking at the second event. We don't want to know about the probability of the first event. We only want to know about the second event. Or the event that we want. Okay, so straight away, that will be 4 over 11. But 如果是我们的 second is a boy, first is a girl. So that means first is a girl, 也就是这一条路。Second is a boy, 就这一个。So hence, that will be 5 over 11. So that's the reason why 我很喜欢用 tree diagram, 因为真的非常有用。Here comes the hard part. Conditional probability 还有 dependent probability 的 formula. Yes, they can be mixing together. Okay. So 其实如果你有发现到的话，它有点像是什么？它有点像是我们的 independent 的那个 formula. How can I say? Yes, it's confusing. So with our condition probability, 是我们的 intersecting of the both event divide by the given condition probability. 所以看到吗？这个 given 的它是在下面的 ，given 的永远是在下面的。OK，of course， 如果你要 rearrange， 也可以 rearrange 成这一个 form。The way that I think of this formula， 为什么我们这里会 divide by probability of B？ 如果你还记得我讲过的这个 tree diagram， 我们要看的是 the first part。OK， 我们要看的是 first part。We don't want the second one. We don't want to know about the second one. Okay, we may use it as a total, but we don't want the second one. So that is the reason why 我们要 divide by 它的 condition, the probability. And then I find 它们两个同时拥有的 probability 是什么 Okay, so it can be confusing, but to summarize it, 我为什么会 divide by the condition, the probability? 是因为 we don't want to know about the probability from the first part or the condition. But at the same time, I want to have my result including with the condition of occurrence. Okay, I do not want it as a total, I want it as an occurrence. So that is the reason why it's so confusing. So using 这一个就是我们的 universal 的一个部分啦。OK， 如果它是 dependent 的话，我们只是到这一个地方。But 如果它是 independent, we can actually break it down using 我们的这一个 formula, which is PA over PB. And since 这里两个因为是一样的 they both cancel out and leaves out the only probability. So straight away we can say that PA on condition of B is equals to PA and vice versa. Over here, we can also say that independent is true if one of them exists. 第一个是我们之前学过的 sorry, 我以为是在 highlighter. 第一个是我们学过的。第二个是 probability of given condition B with occurrence of A equals to given probability of not B with A. I probably do not want to do the proof over here, but yep, if you really want to see the proof, 你就跟我讲啦 okay? And I will try and see if I can organize it. Right, the 2 children are randomly selected from 11 boys and 14 girls. Find the probability that selection of consisting of 2 boys. 这里的 given probability 是什么 Okay, this is not obvious, but it is a conditional probability. But as I mentioned, 如果你看到这种 choosing 就是 first round and second round 的先 no brainer, go and do 我们的这一个 tree diagram first. Oh, okay. I was like thinking, why isn't it? Okay. B, G, and since it's not replacing it, B, G, 10 over 24, 15 over 24. 11 over 24, 13 over 24. Okay, so what is the probability of having 2 boys? Okay, so for this one, 我们要想的是 is it independent or independent? This is dependent is because the first part of the round is affecting the second part of the round. Okay, so to be honest, 这个好像不是 conditional. I mean, I have no idea why they want to introduce conditional probability here. But no, they are just overcomplicating it. Okay, it's you. 如果你要的话，你可以用 conditional probability to solve, but I don't think it's necessary. Okay, I don't think it's necessary. So 它也没有讲什么 condition 嘛。So probability of selecting pool boys is just literally 11 over 25 times 10 over 25. 因为我在看着那个 note，我就有点怪怪的。But yes, that's just do whatever that feels comfortable. 如果你有看到 given 或者是 condition 的时候，你在做 conditional probability. And since it's a boy and a girl in any order， 那也就是我们的这一条路和这一条路 add up together， 所以也就是我们的11 over 25 times 15 over 24 plus 14 over 25 times 11 over 24, so that will become 77 over 150. Okay, the next one. Every Saturday, a man invites his sister to the theater or to the cinema. 70% will go to the theater, 90% is accepted. Okay, this one 也是一样 first and second round, but you will see how. His sister rejected 40% of the invitation to the cinema and find the probability of the brother's invitation accepted on any particular Saturday. 这一个 just use tree diagram. Don't even care about conditional probability. That's no need. Tree diagram is your conditional probability. 所以其实我们一直以来我们都在做这 conditional probability. So first round, brother 就要去想 OK 我到底要给他去 theater 还是去 cinema. For the theater's invitation, it will be 0.7. 他没有讲 cinema 的，可是我们可以算出来，因为我们的 total probability is equals to 1， 而且我们只是两个 event 而已，所以就是1 minus 0.7， 所以就是 0.3。那我们 second round 是什么？我问了之后，它是会 accept 或者 reject。So we are looking at accept and reject, accept and reject. So if it's theater， 就是 0.9 and reject will be 0.1. Okay, remember it's 1 minus the other event. The second one, that will be if it's 0.3, which is cinema, 它 reject 是 0.4. So that means 我们 accept 的是 0.6. So find the probability that's being accepted on any particular Sunday. 所以也就是我们要看这一个部分。But in order to reach to A， 我是要 follow 这一个 path. Okay, so that means probability of accept is equals to 0.7 times 0.9 plus 0.3 times 0.6. So that means 0.81. So don't overcomplicate it. Okay, 如果你看到像这种问题，它没有讲什么 using given a condition probability 来算的话， just use tree diagram， 因为 tree diagram 本身就是 conditional probability. Now, the next one. Given that PA intersect B is equals to 0.36, PB equals to 0.9, find what is conditional probability. 这一个就要用 formula 啦。OK, 这个也要用 conditional 的。So, how do I find the condition of probability of A given B? 就像我们讲的一样，我们要 reject 的是 the probability of B, 也就是 a condition, 也就是我们的 probability of B here. Given that we also want to include the result with B. So hence, 我们这里的是 0.36 除以 0.9. That is our answer. Again, an ordinary fair die, okay, this is the key word, find the probability is rolled and find the probability that the number obtained is prime given that it is odd. So 也就是 we have to find that it's prime number given that it's odd. 就像我们讲的一样 we do not want the probability of odd and given that it's prime intersect odd. So for prime number 我们有什么 prime 的话我们有 2, 3, 5 odd number 有什么 1, 3, 5 So 我们的 odd 的它是probability 是等于 3 over 6嘛 What about prime intersect odd? 它们只有两个号码 so that will be 2 over 6 Type it in your calculator 我们可以算出来的是2 over 3 Last example A boy walks to school at 60% of the time and cycles 40%. He's late to school on 5% when he walks and 2% when he cycles. Given that he is late to school, find the probability that he cycles and find what is the condition, what is the probability of cycle given that he's late. So confusing, but the Venn diagram will tell you the answer. Not the Venn diagram,我们的那个 tree diagram. So if that's the case, 我们就要分 W and L. And there's W and C, my mistake. Okay, 我们可以写 not late and late. Not late and late. So 0.6, 0.4. 然后这里是 if it's walking, 它的 late 是 0.05, so 0.95 if it's the case. 然后这里就是 0.02, 0.98. So, how can I find 如果它是 condition that it's late? School. Okay, so 这一个它不像前面的问题一样，它唯有一个不同的地方是它有讲 given that he's late to school， 看到吗？它这里是没有写的， but 这一个有写。So always some students will get tricked by my advice before. Okay, even I got tricked just now. So 也就讲着我们的 probability of C given L is equals to C intersect L 除以 probability of L. Okay. So 我们要找出来的是我们的 probability of L 是等于多少。So the probability of getting late 我们有 walking with L, cycling with L. 这一个是我们算那个 late 的方式。Okay, so that will be 0.6 times 0.05 plus 0.4 times 0.02. So that results into 0.038. So to find what is C intersect L, 也就是我们的这一条路吗？是。So that means C intersect L 是等于我们的0.08。Oh, sorry, 0.008. So hence, our probability of cycling given that it's late is equals to 0.008除以0.038, which is 0.211. 如果你要写 fraction 也是 acceptable. So the only advice for conditional probability, 如果你看到 given, 你才用 conditional probability. 没有的话，直接就是用 tree diagram. Okay? 但我会讲 given 的，不用担心。